Renato Moicano calls Michael Chandler too dumb for getting suckered into fake Conor McGregor fight. Chandler waited 2 years for a Conor McGregor fight that never materialized, and with no clear commitment from the promotion in terms of his comeback, Chandler was forced to accept defeat and return to action without his red panties. I'm surprised Chandler didn't continue waiting, Moicano told MMA Fighting. This guy's too dumb, man. You're raising a bet that has everything to go wrong. McGregor is MMA's biggest troll right now. He has no incentive to fight. What's the incentive for Conor McGregor to fight? He makes more money outside of fighting. His purse is nothing compared to what this guy makes with his business. Right now, he's using the UFC more like a marketing agency because everybody talks about him when he says he's going to fight, and he's done it again and again. I was surprised that Chandler gave up on waiting because he spent so much time, Moicano continued. It's like what you invest money on something and doesn't know if it's worth waiting or going all in. Damn, should I keep trying? I've invested so much money and time that if I go out, I lose everything. I think he was so invested on this fight that it was hard for him to pull out, but he saw it was for the best. And he's also gotten a big fight too. Oliveira is coming off a loss, but he's a former champion, a likable guy, very popular too. I think it could have gone worse for Chandler, fighting someone tougher and not that popular. In a recent appearance on Adam Zuba's YouTube channel, UFC middleweight star Khamzat Chimaev spoke on Dana White's powerslap championship. The interviewer first asked Khamzat what he thinks of this sport. Khamzat said, "The UFC sent me a video of powerslap when it first came out. At first I followed them on Instagram, but then I unfollowed them because seriously, what the hell is that? People slapping each other, it's just stupid." Then Khamzat was shown a clip of a random powerslap guy getting knocked out with a slap. The reporter later asked Khamzat, "Now I'm going to ask you a very weird question, but in theory, if you were offered to join powerslap, how would you react?" No way, of course. Standing there and giving out slaps completely goes against our mentality. Even if they gave me $100 million, I would still reject the offer. But what if they gave you an opportunity to give out the first slap? The reporter asked. Nah, still no. What if he doesn't get knocked out? Then what? I wouldn't risk that. Chimaev isn't the first one to criticize Dana's power slap. Ariel Helwani also reacted to this sport.
And the irony that they moved it to accommodate this slap crap, this nonsense. They're trying so hard to make this seem like a success, make it seem important. They're on some app that I've never heard about and probably would juice numbers. Like, this is like someone with a spoon just being like, take it. We don't want it. I don't want to see this on my timeline anymore. I don't want to see it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see guys who look like they came off the street slapping each other. It's the weirdest thing.
Dana, as expected, keeps defending the power slap.
You know, all the media talking about this is horrible, this is disgusting, this should never happen, yada, yada, yada. You know, all these guys that want to act like they're big UFC guys now, nobody was touching this shit back in the day. Nobody would, you know, write about it. Nobody took us serious. Nobody said that this would ever be a real sport. It's absolutely deja vu. I love this shit. This is what I love. You know, I didn't know what to expect. You know, this whole thing has been a work in progress.
Featherweight champ Ilia Topuria reveals why he would turn down a Conor McGregor fight if offered. In a recent interview on Ibai Llanos' YouTube channel, Ilia said he's no longer excited about fighting Conor. El Matador pointed out that McGregor's career seems to be going downhill, and his long absence from the octagon has taken away the buzz that once surrounded him. "I wouldn't like to fight McGregor," he said. "I mean, McGregor would be an option if I could fight him, but right now, even if the UFC offered me a fight with him, I would say no because there are bigger fights than him. He is not the same. He's not the McGregor that once moved the masses. He's now a McGregor who represents alcohol and drugs more than the sport. I was inspired by Conor. I admired him when I was younger. He lost it because he betrayed the values that had brought him to the top. We have lost an idol." Ilia is set to defend his featherweight title against Max Holloway in the main event of UFC 308, happening on October 26th in Abu Dhabi. Topuria won the 145-pound championship with an impressive knockout of former champ Alexander Volkanovski last February. Sean Strickland explains what's so tricky about fighting Alex Pereira. He said, "The problem with Alex is he touches you and you go to sleep. Doesn't matter how much I touch Alex, I'm not gonna hurt the guy. I remember when me and him fought, I was like, boom, I'm hitting him. A little bit of blood was coming down. I see a little blood on his face. I'm like, Alex ain't that scary. He's not like that. I started hitting him and I was like, I'm going to mess Alex up. All of a sudden, I woke up. What the hell happened? I'm not scared of Alex. The problem is, I'll go to sleep. It's a weird thing when you fight Alex. If you gave me one free shot and you said, give me everything you can, I'm not knocking him out, but I just know no matter what the hell I do, he's going to eat it, and if he touches me with just one good one, good night, mofo. While Sean Strickland is definitely picking up some tips from his former rival, Alex Pereira is also benefiting from their training sessions. The reigning 205-pound champion is gearing up to defend his title against Khalil Roundtree at UFC 307 on October 5th. To get in top shape, Pereira is sparring with Strickland, who is eager to help him secure the win for several reasons. One major factor is Strickland's strained relationship with Roundtree, which he recently discussed, explaining why they don't see eye to eye. Daniel Cormier says Francis Ngannou will have to channel emotions correctly in MMA return. Ngannou is scheduled to return to the MMA cage to make his PFL debut against Renan Ferreira on October 19th in Riyadh. He'll make his return to MMA just mere months after the tragic passing of his son Kobe after a medical emergency in Cameroon. Cormier, who lost his daughter during his freestyle wrestling career, can empathize with the emotions that Francis is working through. He believes Ngannou can set aside his grief and put on another signature performance against Ferreira, but it'll take a lot of personal effort. In a recent appearance on the Pound for Pound podcast, DC spoke about Ngannou's upcoming fight while enshrouded in grief. Francis and I had a great conversation, and I told him if there's any time he wants to speak about trying to, because you have to compartmentalize it, it can't be at the forefront of your mind when you're trying to accomplish something great, DC said. It's impossible. It's so hard. When my daughter passed and I was getting ready for the World Championships, I would just cry. If things went wrong in practice, I would just cry. I had this great sports psychologist at the Olympic Training Center. She taught me how to channel it. That's what Francis is going to have to do. He's going to have to find a way to channel all of the emotion that he feels daily and apply it to his training, his goals, and his expectation of himself. Because honestly, man, it's hard to truly expect the best when all you're doing is hurting. Literally, you're hurting every day to even get out of bed, but you know that you're trying to build a life. Ngannou hasn't fought in MMA since defeating Cyril Gunn by unanimous decision at UFC 270. It was his lone UFC heavyweight title defense before splitting from the UFC in 2023 after a long, strenuous contract dispute. What do you think about Ngannou's upcoming fight with Ferreira? We want to hear your thoughts, so leave your comments below. And if you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more exciting updates, fight analyses, and all things MMA. Join the conversation and be part of our community.